2 match weeks are in the books. That's 20 games played. We've got a whole another slate of 10 games coming at you over the course of Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's right. This is match week 3 preview on Red Card Radio. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the preview. Apparently, there's some sort of yapping dog here somewhere. I know it's not in my house. Sean, was that you?
Just ready.
Just barking, bro.
Just ready. We had Spurs had a hard fought, earned decision last week at Stamford Bridge,
decision.
And I just can't
earn point.
It was a well-deserved point away at Chelsea, and I can't wait to get after it this week.
Well ferned. That's the new one.
Well ferned. Don't worry. The football gods are coming back this week.
All right. So
you're gonna lose those 3 points you should have lost last week.
Let's get into it. So kicking it right in. Spurs kick off the weekend. They're hosting Wolves at the at White Hart Lane. Everton are hosting Forest. Nottingham Forest, as we've been talking about this week, their first win in the Premier League in 23 years, first goal in the Premier League in 23 years. Can they make it 2 for 2 against Everton? I think they have a good chance.
Probably.
Leicester City Football Club are hosting Southampton. Fulham are hosting Brentford in a London derby. Crystal Palace are hosting Villa. Bournemouth are hosting Arsenal. Sunday kicks off with West Ham hosting Brighton, Leeds and Chelsea. That's a big derby there. A lot of animosity between those two fan bases. Newcastle are hosting the champions Manchester City. That should be a good one. And then the big one, boys. It is Manchester United hosting Liverpool at Old Trafford. The Titans of English football. The paragon.
In a relegation battle.
Relegation battle.
This is not a relegation battle, but is this a 6-pointer, Sean? What? Is this a 6-pointer?
This might be a 6-pointer. This might be a 6-pointer. You know, I don't like to pull the 6-pointer out a lot.
Hey, if United win, they go from the bottom of the table to having somebody under them, Liverpool.
That is
There's been a lot of great United memes. This one might be my favorite. The meme was, I think it was the Alonso Mourning on the sideline where he kind of shakes his head and then he kind of nods. He's like, it's kind of like, oh no, but it's all right. It was when United get relegated, but you realize that Liverpool are also coming down to the championship to play a little footy also.
Oh, that would be wild. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Neither one are getting relegated. Let's be honest.
So there's a lot of games, a lot of good games this week. We've picked out 3 that we want to preview, that we want to highlight for you coming into this weekend. We're going to kick off first Fulham at Craven Cottage hosting Brentford. That I think, Sean, does Brad look frozen to you? Just quickly checking.
He does.
Okay. So we might.
I do want to.
Frozen?
You're back. Yeah.
I do want to throw this out before we really dive in.
Okay.
If United, we're going to have a slight format change next year.
Okay.
And here's what I say that. If United do get relegated, we have to have a championship update every week.
Championship look-in. Yeah, we'll do a championship look-in.
We have to look in to see how the championship's going for United every week next year.
Unfortunately,
I would relish every moment we look into the championship to see how United's doing.
It'll be our collective most enjoyable moment of the pod.
Yes. Okay, let me switch the tab to a different table to see where United are.
Ridiculous. That's not happening.
One thing the 3 of us agree on.
Yeah, United can burn. But that's obviously not happening. You guys are too hopeful. Okay, Fulham Brentford at Craven Cottage. What do we think about this match, Sean? What are you are you looking forward to this one?
I am because Brentford just smashed United, destroyed them, and so Brad at the pre-production said this is a levels game with Fulham Brentford, like a little heat check. Who's going to be where? I think this is a levels check on Fulham United. Because if Brentford also put 3-4 past Fulham and just smash them, then maybe Brentford's better than we thought, but maybe United's worse than we thought.
So
Like maybe it's one of those.
So
go
here's
for it,
why though. We forget that on match day 1, there's an argument that Fulham deserved all 3 points from Liverpool.
Yeah, that's where I was going with my thought. Is that
I told you guys.
Fulham played really well against Liverpool.
And they played really well against Wolves.
Yeah, they had a draw against Wolves as well, which is a good result for a recently promoted team. I mean, like, honestly, if you draw all of your games, you're going to stay in the Premier League. If you end the season on 38 points, you would stay in the Premier League every single time. It's a kind of a meme worthy, and it's not going to happen. Like, clearly they're going to drop points here and there, and they won't draw every game.
Wait. If they draw every game, does that mean there are now 2 invincible teams?
Yes, they would be invincible.
Yes, that would be invincible.
But
I'm rooting for that really hard, by the way.
I think so too.
It's not. They don't get a golden trophy because they wouldn't win the Premier League. So yeah, in order to be an invincible, you would be undefeated. I would give you that. You'd be undefeated, but to be invincible, you have to win the league as well.
Oh, now we're putting caveats because
You're damn right.
He's adding that carrot on there.
They're invincible. There's 2 trophies handed out on match day 38. Then there's a golden trophy to Fulham, and then there's whatever little trophy gets handed out to some small club in City. Manchester.
Did you just say City? Wait.
Picking City to win the league?
Wait, did we just get a Freudian slip there where he thinks City's winning the league? Because
tell me more, Sean.
Let's pull up those tables.
Small club in Manchester.
I think the table says Tottenham. I think if we check the sheets of integrity.
Yeah, I think we have a sheets of integrity slip here.
Man, one match against Chelsea.
He's
and all of a sudden, Tottenham's not winning the league no more.
First of all,
I haven't seen Hype Sean all week. Where did Hype Sean go?
We're gonna
win everything. We're gonna dog walk you guys. You'll be lucky if you beat the Wolves.
It was not the game against Chelsea because, like I said, that was a well-furned game. It was watch.
well done. Sorry.
I gave it the room for you guys to laugh, and you left the pause there.
It took me a second, but that was really good.
City have just been rolling, and it's just obnoxious.
And there's another team equal on points with City. So like, let's not give the title to City yet. But City are going to win the league. I did pick. Okay.
Fulham Brentford.
Yes, please stay on topic, gentlemen.
Fulham Brentford. Brentford look really good.
I think my kind of take on this is I think if I'm Brentford, I continue to do what I'm doing now. Clearly, I think they had a really easy week last week. I don't think, and that seems like I'm just memeing on United, but like literally, like they had an easy game. They were 4 up in 35 minutes.
Well. All right, so I take that a little bit differently than you did. What I noticed from that, if you just take the first half, they were up 2-0 within what was that, about 20 minutes something or so, like 25 minutes? 18 minutes. They were up 2-0. Most clubs in their position would back it off and start packing the bus.
Yeah, I agree.
And just pray for the draw at best. They did not. They were peppering the ever-loving crap out of United. They didn't park the bus until the second half.
Well, I think that's my point, is that they should feel encouraged. They had a great result against United, and United, like they
were battering them.
Yeah, they put the pressure on United. So I guess my point is, I think if they play the way that they played against United with the same level of intensity, with the same commitment, I think that they should expect good results from other teams. Yeah. Fulham are clearly not as good as United, but they're going to be different. I don't think Fulham aren't going to make the same stupid mistakes that United made. Manchester United played themselves out of the game against Brentford. Fulham will look to minimize those types of mistakes as much as possible. So it's going to be a different profile of game. That's why I think it's going to be a really interesting game, because Brentford really should try and impose themselves on Fulham. But I don't know if they're going to have the capability to do it, because Fulham, I think, is going to be much more reserved.
And I think it's a West London derby.
It's a London derby, yeah, for sure. I don't know specifically where
it's Brentford a West London. Oh, they are 7 miles apart.
Okay, so they're pretty close.
On the same side of the Thames. Whatever. 7 miles apart. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So this is a big game.
I mean, clearly if Fulham
should be up.
If Fulham get a result here, that's a great result for them. If they get a point or if they get a victory, I think that's great for them.
Not everybody play in the same city as a derby, man. Like when we play you guys, it's not a rivalry.
I know it's not because Chelsea just dominates it.
You guys aren't worth it.
Says the man that's rattled after one draw.
Not rattled.
Man. Wow.
Okay.
Not rattled.
We got a deserved point out of the bridge. That's a good result.
It was Ferned. Speaking of derbies or rivalries, let's go up to Ellen Road. Leeds are hosting Chelsea this weekend. Brad, you looking forward to that one?
Ellen Road, I think that's where the wild fern grows.
Yeah. It's clearly it's a rivalry. But I think Chelsea win handedly.
Okay.
On these wild.
He's got a rivalry with everybody. He's got a rivalry with somebody that's not even in the city. How many rivalries you got?
Leeds and Chelsea is a historical rivalry.
Yeah,
you're 100% wrong on this.
You got 19 rivalries?
I mean, when you're the best, everybody hates you.
You're not the best. And B, everyone hates Chelsea because Chelsea ruined football. Roman Abramovich ruined football. So everyone hates Chelsea for that reason.
Chelsea's the greatest club ever. History says that Chelsea is the greatest club ever.
West Ham's most hated team, Tottenham. Arsenal's most hated team, Tottenham.
Don't engage.
Chelsea's most hated team, Tottenham. So who cares more about this rivalry? Because I only care about one rivalry, and it's up there.
Don't. Unfortunately for you, you pointed at Brad.
You pointed at me, so thank you. There you go. There's a Freudian slip again. We go.
No, on my screen it's over here.
Yeah, it's different for Sean. Everything's inverted. It's so
okay.
What is
winning it? I don't.
What is my point?
I think Leeds compete, but I think Chelsea win.
Okay. Do you think Chelsea just impose themselves?
Yes.
Okay.
And I hope Broja starts.
Is there any hangover from the result against Spurs?
No.
Okay. All right. He's confident. He is confident.
And I think Gallagher will get his first start. Because Conte's hurt.
How hurt?
Like 3 or 4 weeks out.
That's not too bad.
I think that's the thought process now. I don't think the scans have been completed, or if they have been, they haven't been made public yet.
I mean, old man probably needed a break anyway coming up, so he's good for playing for a couple weeks and then needing a break. I think we're going to turn our attention to the United Liverpool match. Old Trafford will be buzzing for this one until all the fans walk out, because I think there's a planned protest for this match as well.
There's gonna be nobody there.
Yeah, apparently it's gonna be empty. The call sign or the whatever is like make Old Trafford empty or something like that. Could you imagine if they actually do that?
It's gonna be COVID 2.0 there.
It's not, because there's gonna be Liverpool supporters in the ground.
Oh yeah.
Well, what will be interesting is, yes, I understand the grandiose nature of folks going to their seats for kickoff and then walking out. But you've already paid for your entry.
Yeah, certainly.
Right.
So,
but they got that ticket anyways. But it says I think it's a bigger impact. If you're not buying merch, if you're not buying food, and if it's like on TV that there is nobody in Old Trafford.
It's going to be on TV. It's the Monday night game.
I mean, to be fair, like Manchester United Liverpool is arguably the biggest rivalry in England.
Yeah, it's arguably the biggest one. It's probably between Tottenham, Arsenal, and Liverpool.
Yeah,
Liverpool United.
This is what
I feel like we can get Joel. Did Joel say that?
I forget if he said that. Joel gave us his opinion last year about this, and he kind of agreed. He said the arguments you can make is United, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, or the Merseyside derby. Those are the three that you could make an argument for.
Which is funny that Liverpool's been so good for so long that they're two of the top three.
I mean, yeah, they're one of the biggest clubs in England.
But Liverpool and Manchester are so close to each other that it's basically a derby.
So thinking about this match, United come into this match on no points, no wins. Liverpool come into the match 2 consecutive draws. Darwin Nunez won't be able to play because he's suspended. Is that a good thing for Liverpool? Is that a bad thing for Liverpool?
It's Jota's injured.
No, I think Diaz is playing for
Jota
Jota. I think Bobby
who's playing on the left.
I think
Diaz plays on the left.
Yeah, I think Jota's been playing on the left. I think Bobby Firmino starts this match.
No, Jota was not available last week, and neither was Firmino.
Oh, then maybe he's injured. I don't know. Jimmy,
yeah,
let me know what's going on with Jota.
I don't know. I don't know who's playing.
Well, Liverpool haven't looked that good this year, though.
They have a lot of interesting problems, and most of them stem from the fact that their midfield is super lean, in my opinion.
Right, but if you can't complain about injuries for 3 years in a row.
I tweeted that, Brad. Did you steal that from me?
I did. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
When there's 3 years in a row that you're complaining about the injury bug biting you, maybe it's something that you need to investigate with what you're doing as a manager. What you're doing or not doing. I don't know. I don't know what their training regimen is. I don't know if it's too hard or not hard enough or somewhere in between that it needs to be one or the other. I don't know the answer to that. But when it's 3 years in a row, it's not unlucky. You're doing it on purpose.
I think there's two questions here. Was Mane the key? Or is this team just melting down around Klopp?
It's not the key. No.
I think that this is sensationalized. I think that Liverpool are going to be fine this year. I think that this team is in a bit of a transition because they have some aging players that are moving on, but they also have a strong core, right? Like if you look at Alisson, Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez, Fabinho, like they've got.
Mate, you mentioned two players that don't play because Konate starts above Matip or Gomez.
Thank you, Konate. I did intend to say him. You're right. But they are going through a transition period. They lost Mane. Bobby Firmino is making his way out. Darwin Nunez is new, so he's going to take time to settle. But I do think he's going to settle. Like anyone who's sleeping on Nunez, I think, or making the Andy Carroll comparisons, I think are going to be in for a rude awakening in 6 months when this guy's banging goals past your team. But with that being said, I agree with you. Liverpool have not looked good. Is there a universe where Manchester United win this game?
No.
No universe.
Yeah.
No.
I think so.
I think there is. And I
think they win this game. I'm going to be 100% honest. I think they win.
I think it starts with Cristiano and ends with Ronaldo.
Yes.
I think this is a game that has Cristiano Ronaldo hat trick written all over it.
At least 2 goals. I don't know if a hat trick. I think he gets 2. I think he gets a brace.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. You think Liverpool handily win this game? This is
4-0 Liverpool.
I can also see that result because the United defense is really porous.
Correct. I think whoever scores first wins. Like I think this is a golden goal game.
Is this the OK Corral shootout? Like what?
I'm saying whichever team scores first is going to have the momentum and keep the momentum. I don't think.
I'll put it to you this way, Brad. If United score first, it's going to be 5-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that as well. I don't know. I think that there is a universe where Erik ten Hag makes a couple tweaks. He plays Varane instead of Martinez. Maybe he moves Martinez in the midfield. You get a little bit more composure in the midfield.
Maybe he plays him as a 6 so he can move him up the field.
Yeah, maybe you play Martinez as a 6. You have Eriksen and Bruno both playing as 8s. So I think that there is a universe that United could win this game. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it could happen. I don't think it's impossible. Now, if the inevitable result where United lose does happen, they're looking, and if they lose handily, what's the mood like? Like what? Surely United fans understand that this could happen, that they could get banged out really hard by Liverpool, right?
I mean, they got banged out by Brentford, so yes.
Right, but I guess that's my point, is that like surely United fans aren't deluded enough to think that like, oh, this is Manchester United, right?
Yeah.
You would hope. And so I think that they would be like, okay, we lose this game, that's fine. You have to look forward to Southampton, who they have the week after. Now, if they don't get full points against Southampton, then who knows what's going on there?
Well, right, like Can the Glazers sit quietly? I know we went over this yesterday, but if you have 3 points out of 12 or 0 points out of 12 or 1 point out of 12, can you, like, you have to do something, right?
I don't know,
Because
man.
after that is the transfer window closing. So, like, either you splash the cash or you admit that Ten Hag wasn't the right guy.
The problem is, I think everyone that they've been linked to, like, they're trying to get linked to big name players. They're trying to sign big name players.
It's the same thing they've done for 10 years.
But big
It's
name
not
players,
working.
De Jong is 100% not coming to United this summer.
No.
Rabiot,
Casemiro.
yeah, Rabiot, Juve wants astronomical money to even
Oh,
think about it.
Rebo.
And
Of course he does.
They've already that essentially is basically done. Casemiro, do you think Casemiro is leaving Real Madrid to come to Manchester United? I think there's no way. So, like, they need to.
Apparently they want to go for Antony, but that window closes sooner.
What they need to do is they need to go try and sign Wilfried Zaha, and they need to try and sign.
Again?
Yeah, but I think that's a mistake, right? I think they need to sign Yuri Tillman, someone like that. Like, they need to look for players who have Premier League experience, who could be tempted to come to United for the prospect of potentially playing Champions League football. But the problem is, if United had Champions League football this year, it would be a much easier sell. Europa League is not that nice, and it doesn't look like United right now are a team that should expect to finish in the top 4. So it's not like we can be like, well, we're not there this year, but next year you're certainly getting Champions League football. Like, that's not a good sell.
Right.
So I think
here's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to maybe I'll stall so you guys can think about. Do the Glazers have a scouting department?
No, but Manchester United does.
Teams.
Like, but
No, you know what I mean. Does United have a scouting department?
Certainly.
Is
it good? Probably not.
Obviously. YouTube
Obviously.
highlights.
How have they not been scouting? Like, they're just signing names.
Well, the thing is, scouting is largely going away in favor of analytics, even in soccer. So, like, teams are relying very heavily on analytics to try and determine if a player fits their system and could be successful. I don't know if it's working, though.
I don't know. Ask Brighton.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or Leicester.
I mean, Arsenal rely really heavily on analytics, and it's going.
Ask Arsenal.
Well. It's going fairly well for us.
Chelsea's starting that. Like, Bowley's iterated that multiple times, that, like, it's going to be an analytics department.
Yeah.
I think that's why you see us signing up all these little 18, 19-year-olds.
Yeah, you guys have spent an astronomical amount of money for your Premier League 2 team and for your academy. Seems
Joel started wild. This week.
Yeah, because he needs
PL2.
He needs minutes. He needs to.
Chaloba started. Adoy almost started, but I think he's going. I think we're putting Adoy on loan.
There have been links today of Callum Hudson-Odoi in Arsenal, and I am not looking forward to that if that actually were to happen. But yeah,
no.
Think about Sean's question. Does United have a scouting department? What do you think about Manchester United's recruitment? Let us know in the comments, but also let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen in this United-Liverpool game, because we're about to put some pen to paper on score predictions. Brad, who's going to win this game? What's the score?
2-1 United. A brace for Ronaldo.
He's got 2-1 United. I'm going to write that down. Sean, what do you got?
I just said it. It's 0-4. It's Liverpool by 4.
Okay. I'm taking 3-1 Liverpool. I think I think Liverpool's going to win the game. But I do think United's finally going to score. I think Cristiano gets a consolation at some point. But yeah, so hit us up in the comment. You tell us what you think about this match. Or if you have another match that you're interested in, perhaps you're a Newcastle fan, maybe, and you listen to Red Card Radio and you're interested about this Newcastle City game. Tell us what you think about that, and we'll bring it up next week in the review show. But until that time, I hope you find some time to watch a Premier League match. If there's one match that you're like, man, I need something to watch, we have a humble request of you guys. So, like, there's only so many games that we can watch at 10 a.m. Saturday morning. But there's 4 games and there's only 3 of us. So loyal listeners, friends of the podcast, could you guys pick up our slack? Could you guys watch Palace and Villa and leave us a comment about that match so that we could review it? Would you do that? Could Red Card Radio, could that be your pick of the week? And if you could only watch one game, it be that game. And I think it's going to be a good game. Palace Villa, I think that'll be a good one. So
let that one slip.
Leave us a comment. Tell us about that game if you got to watch it. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll bake all of these comments into our review of match week 3 when we get to it next week. But boys, that's it. That's all we got. Let's watch some football this weekend. Yeah, let's have a good time.
Do it.
Until next week. Yeah, where's that bark at again? As always, that's at KSBradG. Down below, that's at Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany, and we collectively are at Redcard_Radio. We would love to hear from you. Drop us a line. Tell us what you're thinking about. This is the 3rd week of the new iteration of Red Card Radio, and we would love to hear some feedback. If you're liking it, if you're hating it, whatever it is, let us know. And those are some great ways to do it. But until next time, all of you have a good day. Enjoy some Premier League action this weekend. We will see you all next time.